How you doing? What's happening? So I was just wondering, what would it feel like to fly back and forth all the time between Tokyo, Japan, New York, and LA? Sounds kind of cool, right? Well, that's actually my life. And I gotta tell you, sometimes it's cool and sometimes it's hectic. As a matter of fact, right now, I'm coming to you from the States. I'm on the East Coast, and I just flew here from Japan. And as soon as I got here, I got a call and had to zip back to LA for an assignment, but I was only there for 24 hours. So I want to give you guys a little peek into what it was like for me to be in LA for 24 hours. So let me just bring that up for 1 second. Here I am in LA for 24 hours. And what's funny is I just got to the States and flew to the East Coast. And as soon as I get to the East Coast, I had to fly back to LA and only for 24 hours for a meeting. So, of course, the meeting doesn't take 24 hours. The meeting was pretty fast. So, on my way to the airport, I called a buddy of mine and said, "Hey, I've got a few hours before my flight. You want to hang out?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to an event this afternoon, so come with me." So he picked me up. We're hanging out, and this is my buddy Boris Kojo. For those who are big fans of Boris on his TV show, you might recognize him. But for me, he's my friend from 20 odd years ago. So picks me up and he's taking his son to basketball practice. And I've known his son forever. And this is basketball season, right? For those who are watching the finals right now, you know everybody is tuned in. For every basketball fan, you're tuned in. I think that my buddy's son will one day possibly be an NBA player because he's passionate about the game. He's practicing left and right. So here I am seeing my buddy practicing. And for me, as a photographer, I always have my camera on me and I'm documenting life. This is me right before I'm heading to the airport to document him watching his son practice. His son's only 16 years old, but here he is, slamming it down in practice at 16. When I was 16, I was not slamming the ball down like that. But I think this kid has a bright future ahead of him. And it's just really cool to document not only this day, but his entire life, because that's what I've done his entire life is document his life. When I'm in LA, I'll see my friends. Sometimes, even when I have just a few hours, like this day, I had just a few hours to see my buddy Boris and his son, him being a father versus being an actor and hang out. And that was kind of cool. But then afterwards, he had to do an interview on ESPN. So I'm like, okay, I still have time. So I went along with him to watch him get ready for the interview on ESPN, talking all things basketball, as we dive into the season. So I'm watching him do the hair, the makeup, the grooming before going into the actual interview. And I'm watching my clock as well because, again, I've got a flight in a few hours. So I couldn't stay for the entire thing, but I stayed as long as I could, watch folks come in, say hello, greet them as they're in the green room. The green room is where you sit before you actually do the interview. That was kind of cool to see all that, meet folks from the show, get shots of them. And then after this shot, I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, guys, I've got a jet. I've got to get to the airport to fly out. And that's what this day was 24 hours in the show. It was actually Stephen Smith's show on ESPN. So I got a fast shot of them together, watched him walk out to the set where they mic'd him up really fast. And this is the last second before I zipped to the airport to fly to the East Coast. Now, all of these pictures are shot with natural light. And all this month, I've been talking about doing portraits and talking about doing portraits with natural light. And I think today is a great day to focus in more on portraits with natural light. So I want to talk just about that. So let's go deeper into that. So for those who don't know me, let me just change this presentation and go to this other presentation right now and talk about this whole natural light process. My name is Matthew Jordan Smith. I've been a celebrity fashion beauty photographer for over 38 years. I love this industry. It's been very, very good to me. It can be very good to you too. Now, I've been doing this business for a minute and it's the best thing in the world to be here. I'm a professional photographer. I'm also a Nikon ambassador. And I'm now using the Nikon Z9 and the Nikon Z8, which just came out last week. Love both cameras. I've been shooting that Z8 now for a week, and it is a phenomenal camera. I've been using that to take natural light portraits, the Z8 and the Z9. Let's go deeper into the natural light situation. For those who know me, you know I love lighting, right? But today I want to talk about how we all start, and that's with natural light. So sometimes I walk to a situation not knowing what it's going to be, not knowing if I'm going to be shooting pictures or not, but I usually have my camera with me all the time. So this day I'm going to visit a buddy of mine. He's an artist, and I just went by his studio to watch him paint. Actually, this is also in LA, not on this trip, but a trip like a month ago when I flew back to LA like a month ago. So I walk into his studio and I'm seeing, all the tools of the trade that he uses every single day, not knowing what was going to happen that day, but he was doing a painting of a friend of his. So I walk in and I decide I'm going to shoot natural light portraits that day. So when doing portraits with natural light, there's still light in the room. And as a photographer, you've got to distinguish where the light's coming from. So looking at this photograph right now, you can tell he's actually backlit. Now the light is filling the room. It's a white room for the most part, but the light is coming facing the guy who's sitting down. To me, where I'm shooting from, he is backlit. This is natural light. And you can see the painter in the background who's out of focus. His face goes darker, so he's also backlit. That tells me that the light is coming from behind the artist, behind where I am. So I need to turn around and shoot from in front of them to get where the light is perfect. As a photographer, you always want to focus on where the light's coming from, even when you're working in natural light. And to be honest, you have to train yourself to see light because normally we go about our day and we don't think about light, but you need to as a photographer. So here's the portrait my friend's painting, and I loved seeing this process happen. Now this is lit frontally. The light is lighting that painting correctly. The light's behind me, behind my back, lighting this portrait. But I want to get pictures of the whole process. So here I am, I come around the other way. Now they are front lit. The light is lighting the subject, it's also lighting the painting, and it's lighting the painter. So now this is where I want to be as I do natural light portraits. It's not right or wrong, backlit or front lit. Right now we are front lit. The light, the natural light, the sunlight is filling the room, and I can get great portraits. I like to see where light's coming from by looking at the shadows. There's always a telltale sign when it comes to light. But the light's very subtle if natural light, but you've got to watch everything. Look at the light under his chin. That tells you where the light's coming from. So I come in close and I do a portrait. And when I'm shooting portraits, I like to shoot 3/4, pulled back where I see everything, and then super tight. I always try to shoot those 3 different ways because I don't know how I'll tell a story afterwards until I go to editing when you're finished shooting. So when I'm shooting, I want to get as much coverage as possible. So I go in and get tight shots. I pull back, I move around. I want to find the best angle. Now, when I walked in this day, I had no idea what was going to happen. I just happened to have all my cameras with me, my lenses, and I walked in, saw the light in the moment, and start taking pictures. In that situation, you don't know what the light's going to be, and you have to look at it all the time. So, one quick tip is to always look for the shadows, even when they're very subtle, because in reality, our eyes don't see the shadows. You've got to train yourself to see light and see shadows all the time. I like moving around. So when I'm shooting a client or a subject, anyway, be it a job or just shooting for fun, I'll move around a lot. As I'm moving around, I'm looking at my subject and finding out what's their best side, what's their best angle. No matter where you shoot, no matter who you're shooting, I want you to get into the habit of doing this. Not just picking one spot and staying there and taking every picture. You don't know the best side until you move all around and find the best angle on that subject. It makes a big difference. That's what you want to do, and that's what I do. And then I'll settle on the spot I think is the best. And for this guy, I felt like, okay, I want to move in tight and shoot him straight on. I felt that after I did all my angles, this was the spot to be. The light looks great. It's perfect. And with his face shooting at this angle, I felt I get my best shots. Now, everybody's different. And for you as photographer, it's going to be up to you to find each person's best angle. This is the art of it. I know we all depend on the latest camera to get, better and better, and they are. That new Nikon Z8 is absolutely amazing. But it's up to you to find the best angle to make your clients look good. Not only left and right, but up and down. What's the right height? What's the right angle? And that doesn't come naturally. You have to train yourself to get there. So I come in tight once I find my angle because I want to get as many images on the best angle as possible. And that's what I did for this image. I felt I came in closer, got a tight shot so I could see all the detail in his face, all the features. And this is where I felt good. I felt like, okay, now I think I've got a good shot. And then after that, it's just gravy. I can pull back. I can shoot horizontally and vertically. I'm not sure how I'll use the picture until after I finish. So I like to, once I feel I have the shot, then pull back and have fun. Change my angle, change my format from being horizontal to vertical, because again, you never know how you'll use a picture until after you've finished doing all the images. I'll pull back to tell a full story. And that's when you can really have fun, move around, move them around, and capture moments. This is the joy of photography. And this is, believe it or not, what people pay me to do in Tokyo, New York, and LA. And they can do the same thing for you, but you've got to train yourself. Now, I've been talking about using natural light all today. And I think we all start there because that's how I started. But beyond natural light, you have to first train yourself to see light. Then to up your game, you want to bring in artificial light. So your picture can look any way that you want it to look once you control the lighting. With natural light, you can't control the light. You don't know whether it's going to be a rainy day, overcast day, or whatever. So once you start learning how to see light, you can then move to the next level. And that means you can bring out the big guns, bring lighting in. So I began by looking for all my right angles. Then once I found the right angle, I brought in my light. So once I found the right natural light angle on him, I actually set up a light, brought it in, and lit him. So this shot feels more like me. I think to stand out as a photographer, you need to have an identity as a photographer. Anybody can take pictures with natural light. Anybody. And it means everybody's picture kind of like blends in and looks the same. But to get work, we can make a living, you need to have that thumbprint to your work. And for me, that is absolutely my lighting. So I put up my light and got images that I feel look and feel like me. That takes training and you understanding light. But we all begin by learning how to use natural light. That's how everybody begins. Now, I want to talk about photography lighting a little further because this is how my career started. So I'm going to change and go into talking about a course that I have that talks about how to learn lighting, how to get to that next angle, that next part of your journey as a photographer. So my course is called Photography Lighting Course. We all begin learning natural light. But then when you're ready to take to that next level, you pull up all the training and learn how to use light. And this course is all about that, learning from A to Z how to use photography lighting. In the course, I talk about lighting and I give you modules. There's online modules to teach you everything about lighting. But there's also weekly training because the world changes fast. Gear changes fast. And you need to be up on the latest, greatest. So every single week, I have a 1 hour weekly training course where you can ask questions, show your work, get critiques on your work. The online part comes with 7 training modules. This takes you through exercises, you get assignments, all of that to teach you all about lighting. And then every week, you can come in and ask me questions as you are doing your training. I also got bonus features in the course as well. There's 2 main bonus features in this course, all about making you a better photographer, learning how to see. Now, let me just show you some of my work examples so you now see more of the work from my career. Throughout my career of 38 years of doing fashion, beauty, and celebrity portraits, it is based on me controlling the light. Yes, it's great to have natural light, but to excel, you need to really control the light and create your fingerprint about lighting. And that's what I teach you how to do in my course. Find your identity as a photographer. I wish I knew all this stuff at the start of my career, but I learned over time by having great mentors and teachers who taught me. And now I want to do the same, teach others how they can have a great experience, great career in photography. So with this course, it's like me being right beside you to teach you every step of the way how to master photography. Now, you've heard from me, but I want you to hear now from my students and what they say about this course.
So, initially I thought this would be just straight up lighting, 101 on how to do lighting, and it's so much more. It's about how to really be a photographer, how to see light, not just execute it like many other people teach you how to set up the lights and do that. This is a much more profound and fundamental class.
Really want to take my photography and my business to the next level. And some of the things that I kind of had instinctually thought that maybe I should start doing, he touched on those, but then expanded upon them. And it was just like there were so many aha moments in just like that free 1 hour webinar that I was like, you know what? I need to sign up for his actual course, because if I got that much out of 1 hour of a free webinar, I knew that the content of the course itself was going to have so much more. And it has, like, every single day, like, either people post things on the Facebook group and I see things, or just the actual modules or the weekly live things, weekly live sessions. There is always so much that I am having constant little aha or inspiration or just things to help push me along.
Being a part of PLC has given me the courage to do things that I was apprehensive. I think in module 1, you talked about natural light. And I was one of those people that say, I like natural light. I want to go outside and shoot during the daytime. And being in PLC is giving me the strength and the courage to go in a studio. I'm shooting almost every weekend, whether it's a gig or it's a client, but I'm just getting a volume of work. So
originally, when I signed up to the course, I thought it was just going to be an online class, and kind of learn as I go along, and then that'd be the end of it. But the courses have actually given me a lot more. Because of the group on Facebook, there's a lot more content that gets put in the group than I initially thought was going to be a part of the course. The live question and answer sessions that you do every week are really valuable, and again, something I totally didn't expect to get when I enrolled for the course. So really good.
You know, I've been involved with some other Facebook groups, and kind of you don't get as much interaction. But with this one, you know, you get a lot of feedback. So it's great. You know, whenever I've had plenty of questions already, and everyone's just been so friendly and willing to jump in and help. And everyone is truly willing to help. And the other great thing is the modules that you've created. I've already gone through them multiple times, and I keep going back and referring to the modules. So, you know, whenever I have a photo shoot or anything coming up, it's great to kind of have that to refer back to.
I love seeing people get results. That's why I made this course, to see people grow. Even the student that I have here on right now, Michael Matsko, who's actually has a birthday today. So, Michael, if you're watching, happy birthday, brother. I've watched him grow by leaps and bounds since he's been in the course. And I want to see you grow that same way. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen on your own. We all, of course, you can get there on your own, but it takes more time. You grow when there's a team. I believe that team stands for together, each achieves more. I know I wouldn't have my career if I didn't have a team behind me. In my course, there are people from all over the world, and they come in every single week for the weekly live sessions to grow together. Why not you? This is how you grow and get to where you want to be as a photographer. Don't try to do it on your own. It might take you a lot longer doing that way. So you're probably wondering, okay, Matthew, how much is this course? It's made for people who are very serious about photography. So there are two options to join. You can join for just $97 a month for 12 months. Once you do that, you get the course for life. Once you pay your 12 months at $97, you have lifetime access to the course and all the live weekly sessions. That's about to change, but right now, it's going to stay like that while we are here. So you have two options to join again. This is one way, or you just pay it all up front at one time. Totally up to you. Two ways to join. Break it down in 12 monthly payments, or put it out all together and save a little bit by paying all at once. And yes, now that you know that there's two options, there's also a guarantee with this course, because I believe in you having results. So I stand behind it. You can come in for 30 days, make sure it's right for you, see if you are right for the course. Come in. I've made this course where you are going to get results. So if you're serious, come on in to photography lighting course. And when you do right now, I'll give you 3 extra bonuses just for signing up right away. So you goes from having 7 courses to teach you online to being 10. That's when you join right now. Just for you, we got those 3 special bonuses. Now, what are you waiting for? Let's all learn together, grow together. It takes a team to grow. It takes a village to grow. And I'm here to help you be the best photographer you can be. Now, I'm going to be back here every single week, giving you more information, more stories that help you learn photography. And that's for free. But if you want to go further, come into photography lighting course, join us, and learn how you can make your dreams as a photographer a reality. I never dreamed I'd be going back and forth from Tokyo to New York to LA, making a living doing what I love, but that's my reality. What's yours? Where do you want to be? What's your dream as a photographer? Come into photography lighting course and let's make that a reality. It's hard to get there without a plan or a goal or a team to help you. I'm going to be your coach to push you along the way. I love this industry. I love what it's given me, and I love what it can do for you. Maybe you have questions. This is your time to ask away. Feel free to ask any question you want about photography, about the business, about lighting, about growing. And this is what I do every single week in the course. People come in every single week with their questions. Sometimes the questions are in relating to a problem that they have, or a client that they're trying to please, or a problem with lighting that they don't really understand. I answer those questions every single week because this is about you growing. Yes, the modules in the course are there to help you as well. You can take those 24/7 anywhere in the world as long as you get online. And then once you do that, come in every single week for the live sessions. I love being here and talking to all of you guys and finding out what you love about photography, where you want to go, what your dreams are. I'll be here every single week. So join in anywhere that you decide you want to watch. YouTube, Facebook, you name it, I'm here for you. All right, everyone. I want to thank you for your time. Get out there and practice with your light. Learn to be the best photographer you can be. This is a fantastic industry. It's a lot of fun. You can have the life that you want. All you've got to do is get out there and start working on it. That's it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Big way. Renee, how you doing? Good seeing you here. Manuel, how you doing? Good to see you here. Love seeing you guys here. Please jump in. I'll see you again next week. Peace, everyone.